AEW President Tony Khan denies rumors and reports suggesting that Mercedes Mone has creative control in AEW. Tony Khan says also he can't comment on the ongoing Jon Moxley AEW lawsuit and an update on the case possibly moving to federal court. Khan also explains the lineage of the AEW Unified Championship when it relates to the International and Continental Championship. MJF opens up and hits back on former AEW talents coming into the company thinking that they can run it because they've had runs in other promotions. The Great Muta and other Japanese pro wrestling legends appeared last night on NXT. Ava confirms which NXT talents will be involved in the Battle Royal at WWE Evolution. Jasper Troy versus Javon Evans is confirmed for NXT's The Great American Bash. The D'Angelo family will have a final battle next week on NXT. TNA Wrestling stars Mike Santana and Joe Hendry score a victory last night. Ricky Saints will face Ethan Page in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the North American Championship at the Great American Bash. Red Velvet is injured, meaning an interim Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion will be crowned at Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor, and a Bray Wyatt-related story will be added to WWE 2K25. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with Tony Khan hitting back at what some people have been calling some fake news regarding creative control for the TBS champion in All Elite Wrestling, Mercedes Mone. Tony Khan has seemingly shut down the rumors. There has been a ton of conversation surrounding Mercedes Mone in recent weeks, with fans speculating on her booking in AEW and if she has control over direction and creative over her character and possibly others in the company. On the AEW All in Texas media call, Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp directly asked AEW President Tony Khan about Mone and if she had creative control in the company. Khan answered the question with a lengthy response about his creative input in AEW and how he is responsible for the product the fans see on a weekly basis. Now, Khan said he was also open to being receptive to ideas from talent, noting he will run with a storyline or segment if he strongly believes in it. Now, it was a pretty lengthy response. Here's what the AEW president and CEO had to say on if Mercedes Mone has creative control.
There's been a lot of speculation online regarding the ascent of Mercedes Mone to this all-in spot and accumulating championships, with a lot of people speculating that she has creative control. And even though I don't think a lot of people understand maybe the difference between input and control, can you speak to that, confirm, deny it, or even the rumors that she dictates her own creative and the direction of her programs?
Yeah, that's definitely not true at all. So I would love to talk about that. First of all, the person you're talking about, Mercedes Mone, is an incredible, incredible talent. I have wanted Mercedes Mone in AEW. I want Mercedes Mone as a big star on the show, and really enjoy working with her backstage and as a great talent. And she's done great things for the company doing media, and is just a great person. I think Mercedes is a great addition to AEW. I also think that is ridiculous, the idea that people would think that because she's a strong wrestler on the show that she must be the one dictating that. That is the complete opposite of what happens here. And I think we've done a really great job this year in particular with a really focused build, and I think the best run of television we've ever had through the past 6 months in 2025. I just think it's been a great year for the company, and I am the only person with creative control over the show. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for what you see, and I'm really proud this year because I think this has been one of the best years, 6 months into the year so far, we've ever done of television. And philosophically, really, since the start of the year, in particular this year, let me go back. I've had the final say since day one of AEW. And Sean, are you muted? Are you still there? Yeah, bring him back. Thanks, Rob.
Okay, I'm back.
So, hey. So I rarely do this, but since it's such an insightful question. So, I think you've been covering AEW basically since day one, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's an insightful question you asked. So I'll try to make this like an interactive, like we would do if you were at the scrum.
Sure.
I think that's a good question. I've had the final creative control since the beginning of the company, and I really think we launched very successfully. When we started doing Dynamite the first few months, I was pretty open, I think, that around the holidays, I said I plan to come back with tighter focus in 2020, and that I really
You said it was a New
believe
Year's
when
resolution.
Yes, it was a New Year's resolution, and then in January, it's like a lot of New Year's resolutions that people make. It sometimes takes time to make a good transition into something you want to do. In that case, for me, it was going into 2020. I had said I really am going to only do things I believe in, and I'm not going to be talked into something I don't believe in. It's possible I'm either going to let me rephrase that. I'm either going to try to focus on AEW doing things that I come in and bring to the table and say, this is really what I want to do. Or if somebody has an idea and then I hear it and I say, okay, I really strongly believe in that. That is the way to go. You're right. But if I don't believe in it, I'm being talked into it, I'm dragged across the finish line. I just have found that those things are usually the things that don't work. And what's even worse is then when they don't work, there's nobody to blame but yourself. So in 2020, 5 years ago, I had said that's what I'm going to try to do. And I really felt like the shows in early 2020 were at that point the best we had done. And the build to the original Revolution in 2020 was some of our best work. And I thought that mindset really served us well then going into the pandemic in 2020. And fast forward several years later, we've done a lot of great work. We built the company and secured the media rights deal that was really important for our future. And again, in 2024, 5 years later, we're having so much success, yet I am finding at times I'm having so many great people with their ideas, and I'm listening to so many ideas, and I found there was a lot of input that I would take from people, and I would listen to a lot of suggestions and ideas, and I made a resolution again 5 years later, the same resolution that I had made around the holidays in 2024 that I had made in 2019, which was that AEW is going to have a great year, and that I believe that 2025 was going to be that great year, and that I wanted to take a similar mindset and similar approach. And so this year, I think you're seeing the most focused AEW in many, many years, and the best AEW in many, many years, in part because there's less voices. I'm taking less input. I'm still listening to ideas, but if I don't feel 100% about it, I'm not going to do it. And that's been, I think, a really positive change for the company. And I think the shows in the 2025, the way things have come together reflects that positively. Now, I have such a high opinion of Mercedes in particular. I also have a very high opinion of her opponent, Timeless Toni Storm. I think they're two of the best wrestlers on the planet. They're two people I meet with every single week, at least once a week, but usually multiple times a week, and hear out ideas they might have, and they hear out ideas I have. But for both of them, I'm very involved in the direction of their character personally. They have people that they'll work with in Mercedes' case, somebody she'd worked with for a long time, which is Jen. And I work really well with Jen and Mercedes. And in Tony's case, I found somebody to help me work on it, which is RJ, who is my assistant there. But in the case of Tony or Mercedes or so many of the other great talents that I'll work with closely, I have the final say on what they do. And in the case of this match, it's something that I really wanted to have in AEW for a very long time. But I also think that it's something the fans have wanted to see in AEW for a long time. And we've done a great job, in my opinion, building to this for over a year as a match that the fans absolutely are going to want to see. But the idea that anybody in AEW has a creative control card, or that's why anybody would get a push here is because they dictate it, that's not how it works. And I think we have a great, great company, and we're having a great, great year. And it's because of, first and foremost, the people I mentioned earlier, the groups of people that all work together here to make this happen, which is a team effort between the wrestlers, the staff, and the fans all working together 52 weeks a year. And none of us can exist without the others. And the person you asked about, Mercedes, that's a great example. She's a great, great wrestler. She's a focus of the show. She's the TBS champion because she's a hugely followed and hugely talented star who brings so much to the table. And I'm glad you asked about that because I've seen people infer that she must have, some kind of a creative card because she's such a feature on the show. But that's ridiculous to me because when you have somebody of that stature, you'd want to feature them. You'd want to push them strongly. And I think that's why, frankly, in the case of Mercedes Mone, she is not only one of the biggest stars in AEW, but backstage, she's a great person to work with. I found her to be very, very receptive. And even if she comes in with an idea that points in one direction, I might have an idea that faces 180 degrees in the total opposite direction. But if I really feel strongly about it, I've found that she's somebody that is going to do what I believe and is very trusting of AEW, somebody that really likes working in AEW and likes being here. And I think one of the great things we've done in 2025 is try to focus AEW this entire year around the people that want to be here, the people that care about AEW, and the people that work really hard for us every week. And I think Mercedes is a great example of that. Somebody who's a really hardworking, very talented pro wrestler. Does that make sense, Sean, for what you were looking for?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Great. Thank you very much. It was great answering that for you. And
thank you.
Maybe see you at the scrum. Thanks, Sean.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to Tony Khan, he also was asked about a lawsuit that's ongoing regarding AEW and its world champion Jon Moxley. Tony Khan has commented on Christopher Dispenza's lawsuit against AEW. Now, if you're not familiar, in June, Dispenza filed a lawsuit against the company alleging negligence, civil assault, and battery. The suit stems from a 2023 incident where Jon Moxley shoved Dispenza to the ground during his match with Kenny Omega on a May episode of AEW Dynamite. Notably, Dispenza's legal team claimed that he suffered neck and shoulder injuries from the incident. During the AEW All-In Texas media call, Tony Khan chose not to comment on the lawsuit directly, saying that AEW cares about the safety of everyone at the company.
Regarding someone in the main event, Jon Moxley, we did find out that he and the company are involved in ongoing litigation right now regarding a lawsuit filed from a production member, Chris Dispenza. I understand the company's not going to comment on any pending litigation, but you've always been pretty transparent, Tony, in the past about protocols that the company has in certain situations, just like in COVID. What kind of insight can you provide on any protocols the company has regarding talent interactions with production crew during events?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, John. It's not the way I wanted to start the call, but I definitely can't comment on pending litigation. In this case, I think we really do care about the safety of everybody here. We always have, whether it's the talent, the fans, or the people working backstage in the truck, around the ring, the production team, and we all work together. And that is first and foremost that this is a family of the wrestlers, the staff, and fans all working together to make these shows great 52 weeks a year, and we all need each other. But beyond that, I can't comment much on pending litigation, if that makes sense.
Now, when it comes to the Unified Championship, AEW All-In Texas will be the home for the first AEW match between Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada, as the two rivals will battle for the AEW Unified Championship. That title will be formed by combining Omega's International Championship and Okada's Continental Championship. During the AEW All-In Texas media call, Tony Khan clarified that the international and continental titles won't be retired, even saying Omega or Okada could even carry all three of the title belts.
All right, Tony, forgive me if I've missed you addressing this somewhere. Can you explain how the unification of the Continental and International Championships is going to work? And if those titles are being retired, how does that impact the Continental Classic going forward?
It's a great question. I have never said I'm retiring the championships. This is the first time. Thank you for asking. I'm really very appreciative of a great question about this. I've never said that. So thanks for giving me the opportunity, Jason, to talk about this. I really appreciate it, man. The unified AEW championship is something that is new to us. Never before have two AEW singles championships been held by the same wrestler at the same time. It's something very new. We're very proud of what we built with the International Championship. We're very proud of what we built with the Continental Championship, which is most closely identified with the incredible Continental Classic tournament, which has been one of the real strong points of AEW in the past few years. And now with AEW having such an awesome 2025, I feel so great about what we've done through the first 6 months of this year. And the Continental Classic is always something our fans now have looked forward to. So to think that we're having such a great start to the year, we're going to have a great all-in this weekend, and then we'll have an awesome Continental Classic to look forward to later in the year. There's a lot of excitement around this year. And the Continental Classic will absolutely be back. And I am going to talk more about that as we get later into the year and what it's going to entail this year. But there will be a Continental Classic. And I think the lineage of this unified championship would be intact with the International Championship and the Continental Championship. I created one unified championship belt to represent not only the significance of this match, the winner-take-all nature, that there will be somebody who's going to hold the international title and the Continental title, that there would be one person carrying that lineage of these two championships after this match, and the belt itself represents the two champions that have gotten us to this point. Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada both have been fantastic. So representing with Kenny Omega the international title, Kazuchika Okada with the Continental title, and the history that both men have with each other as well, seeing the One-Wing Angel and the Rainmaker on the side plates of this championship belt that represents the unification of the international title and the Continental title in this winner-take-all match. Absolutely, those two championships, they remain, their lineages remain, and the champion may even choose to carry all three championship belts. And I wanted to create something special around this match and something special around this event and the prestige of a match to unify two championships. And we've been here in AEW for 6 years. We've had multiple championships in men's and women's for many years. We've had multiple men's championships dating back for over 5 years now, and nobody has ever unified two singles championships in AEW before. So it's a very different situation. It's a winner-take-all match. So we've never had that before. And in this case, who knows if we'll see it again, but it's a very exciting thing. And I'm really looking forward to it for many reasons. The unification of the championship is a very, very exciting aspect of this match, but certainly the rivalry between Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega is something that predates AEW. It's something that, in my opinion, represents one of the best one-on-one rivalries ever in wrestling. I think it's one of the best one-on-one rivalries in all of sports. And there are so many reasons to be excited about the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada versus the International Champion Kenny Omega and the unification of their belts. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
Now let's talk about MJF. MJF is the biggest star in All Elite Wrestling. Just ask him yourself. He's been a part of the company since the beginning, and he shared the ring with the likes of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Sting, Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, and many more. He's also gone after Tony Khan on the mic, famously calling him a mark and asking to be fired after AEW Double or Nothing 2022. Speaking to Scott Fishman of TV Insider, MJF was asked about working with Tony Khan. He said, quote, "He has learned I'm his biggest star, which is why he pays me the big bucks. He understands what I bring to the table more than ever. The other thing I would say Tony Khan has learned is you want people in your locker room that not only want to be there, but are worthy of being there. We've had a lot of guys in the past come in and think they're going to be king shit just because they had their time in the sun for a millisecond in other promotions. That's not how it effing works. It's called All Elite Wrestling, not all average wrestling, not all mediocre wrestling, not all I'm going to show up, cash a check and expect to be world champion wrestling. It's All Elite Wrestling. Right now, everyone in that locker room is on the same page. We aren't coming there to cash a check. We aren't coming to give 50%. We're all giving 110%. If you think you're going to come into my company, and yes, I said my company because I've been here since day one and I'm the best professional wrestler in the world. If you think you're going to come into my company and barely put in work, you're out of your goddamn mind. You don't belong here. We don't want you here. So stay where you are and be miserable over there because you don't belong swimming in the ocean of sharks that is AEW, and you're talking to the biggest shark of them all in MJF. Now let's go over to WWE NXT and talk about some familiar faces appearing last night during the broadcast on the CW. One of the matches on the marquee at NXT's Great American Bash on July 12 is Obafemi defending the NXT Championship against Shishiki Inamura. Before the in-ring segment between Femi and Inamura last night on NXT, video messages from Keiji Muto, the Great Muta, Namochi Marufuji, Io Sky, and others appeared. They all wish Inamura good luck in his title match against Femi and expressed that they believe he can become the NXT champion. Through the WWE Noah relationship, Inamura made his way over to WWE. In the segment going into the Great American Bash, Inamura got the better of Oba after a physical exchange between Femi and Josh Briggs. Briggs stated that he would do anything in his power to ensure that Inamura leaves the PLE as the NXT champion. Now, we've got an update on who we're going to see from NXT at Evolution on Sunday. NXT's participants for the Evolution Battle Royal have been set. During the main event of this week's NXT, General Manager Ava announced that Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, Kalani Jordan, and Lola Vice would be taking part in a Battle Royal on Sunday. The winner of that match, of course, will earn a future Women's Championship match that will take place at Clash in Paris on August 31st. After Ava made the announcement, Fatal Influence came out and questioned why Ava didn't talk about JC Jane's match against Jordan Grace at Evolution. That brought out Grace, which soon brought out Stephanie Vaquer, Natalia and Maxine Dupree, and soon other members of the main roster, including Ivy Niles, Zelina Vega, and Julia, as well as the NXT participants in the Battle Royal. After Jada said some words, a brawl quickly erupted as the show went off the air. Speaking of the Great American Bash, another match has been confirmed. For several weeks, Javon Evans and Jasper Troy have been at odds. They've been ambushing one another and brawling whenever they spot each other. That continued on the July 8th edition of NXT on the CW. After a series of dust-ups between the two, it was made official that they'll meet in a singles match at the Great American Bash on July 12th. Now, another big match segment, whatever you want to call it, has been confirmed for NXT next week. The D'Angelo family will finally settle things on the July 15th episode of WWE's developmental brand. Adriana Rizzo sat down with Tony D'Angelo, Luca Crucifino, and Channing Stax Lorenzo on the June 8th edition of NXT and announced the three men will compete in a final battle next Tuesday. This was Rizzo's first appearance since she went into hiding at a safe house when the D'Angelo family began to implode, with Lorenzo turning on Tony at NXT Stand and Deliver. Crucifino has been caught in the middle of the war between D'Angelo and Stax, but hasn't picked a side, choosing to stand on his own. Lorenzo is the reigning NXT Heritage Cup champion, but the cup will not be on the line when the family members clash next week. We saw TNA wrestling stars Joe Hendry and Mike Santana victorious last night. TNA talent Mike Santana and Joe Hendry teamed up on last night's episode of NXT, picking up a victory over High Rise. TNA champion Trick Williams got involved in the match, but his interference was not enough as Santana scored the win for his team. Williams made his presence felt after the match, teaming up with Wesley, Tariq, and DuPont to lay out Hendry and Santana. At the Great American Bash, Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana will sign the contract for their TNA World Championship match, which takes place at TNA's Slammiversary pay-per-view on July 20th. Ricky Saints will compete for the NXT North American Championship this weekend. Ricky Saints will challenge Ethan Page for the NXT North American Championship in a Falls Count Anywhere match at NXT's Great American Bash on July 12th. Saints picked the stipulation on the July 8th episode of NXT, running the Vanity Project Gauntlet. Saints first eliminated Brad Baylor before knocking off Ricky Smokes. Finally, Saints closed the show with the Rochambeau on Jackson Drake to secure his match against Page. After his victory, Saints grabbed the mic and addressed Page, who was on commentary for the Gauntlet match. Saints said he was going to dog walk Page the only way he knew how, and that was in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Of course, Page won the NXT North American Championship on the May 27th episode of NXT, defeating Saints. Saints has a previous victory over Page, NXT Stand and Deliver, over WrestleMania weekend. Switching over to Ring of Honor here, and an injury to a current champion. Red Velvet will not be able to defend her Ring of Honor World Television Championship at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor this week due to injury. With Velvet sidelined, an interim ROH Women's TV title will be created, with the interim champion being crowned at Supercard of Honor. Tony Khan announced the news during the AEW All-In Media call. He said, quote, "With the injury to Red Velvet, it's something that I think she's going to be able to work through, but she's not going to be able to defend due to injury the Women's TV Championship at Supercard of Honor. I will address that situation with an interim TV title. Because Red Velvet will not be able to compete, I'll be having an ROH Women's TV title interim champion crowned at Supercard of Honor. That situation caused some delays in getting the pure title tournament started because, frankly, it's a lot of the same people fighting for the interim TV champion position who would like to be in line for a pure title tournament match. I think Red Velvet will be back in a matter of weeks, maybe a few months tops," said Khan. Now, the Ring of Honor Women's Pure title was announced in April, but the tournament matches have yet to take place. And finally, some news when it comes to WWE 2K25 and new stories being added to the game. WWE 2K is set to announce integration into WWE 2K25 that will possibly please many wrestling fans. Fightful Select reports that they spoke to a source in 2K that noted that there were Wyatt-related items found in the game files recently that ended up getting some attention online. It was noted that while not everything in the game files is indicative of it making it in the game, however, this is. Fightful have been told that a Wyatt story for WWE 2K25 is set to be announced imminently and will release soon. Now, one person who Fightful say they spoke to said this will be one of the first 2K storylines that they think will get people emotional, and elaborated there is a lot of unused Bray Wyatt content that will be featured. There will also be a lot of full videos of Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas that help paint a very deep story. Of course, we get any more details on that, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as we get closer and closer to 24,000 on that road to 25K. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Click the like button. Also, you can join the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. And speaking of the sidebar, you can see all upcoming live streams we've got on the channel. That includes a big weekend of pro wrestling. We've got AEW All in Texas, Saturday night's main event, and WWE Evolution. We'll be doing watch-alongs, live streams, and post shows for all of those shows. I appreciate everyone for tuning in as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to the next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.